Okay, I have been trying to adjust this camera for like 10 million years. I don't have one of those front lights. So yeah, you guys are gonna see all the bags under my eyes, everything. But you know what? I don't care. That's not the point of this video today. The point of this video, oh my god, I'm like under the light. The point of this video today, I'm gonna be doing my nails today because I am going on a trip. I am leaving to Mexico next week and I need to get my nails did immediately. But while I do my nails, I'm gonna sit with you guys, and as it says on the thumbnail, I'm gonna tell you guys a little story of what happened to me, of when I got called on by I don't know who, and I had to shut my business down. And this was before I got my license, okay? So this was like before. So this was before I got my license. But yeah, I'm gonna be sitting here doing my nails while I talk to you guys about it. So let's do that. Okay, so I am going to start off by prepping my nail. I will try and record as much as I can doing my nails and talking at the same time, but I don't know how that's really gonna work. I'm not that advanced yet in editing, so it'll probably just be my face. But I am gonna start speaking up a little bit because I'm gonna turn my drill on in a little bit and my nail dust collector, and it is a lot of noise. So yeah, so let's start off with first things first. This was years ago. This was about 2 years ago, back in 2024, when I started taking my nail stuff a little bit more seriously, but obviously not seriously enough to go and get my education, but enough to where I literally ended up quitting my job to do it full-time out of the house. Honestly, I wasn't that good, not gonna lie. I mean, like, everybody has their starting point, you know what I mean? We as people are our worst critic, and I feel like at the time I wasn't to where I wanted to be, but again, I was just beginning. So again, back in 2024, and again, this was before I was licensed, so this was way before I went to school, way before any of that. Okay, so at the time I worked at Amazon. And at Amazon, if you guys ever work there or do work there, you know that it's 4 days out of the week for 10 hours each day. So I was only able to do nails 3 days out of the week on the days that I had off. And I was getting a little more DMs here and there, so I finally decided, like, hey, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna quit my job. Like, I'm gonna make this the full-time thing that I want it to be, so that I can, you know, pursue this, because this is what I want to do. I was doing much better. My application was getting better. My my shaping was getting better. I'm sorry, I'm like glitching right now because I'm focusing on this. But yeah, I had gotten a lot better to the point where I felt confident enough to quit my job. But again, not confident enough to go get my education. So yeah, I ended up quitting my job. I ended up leaving. And for those of you who know how Amazon works, Amazon, if you leave them, you have to wait 3 months to go back. No ifs, ands, or buts, doesn't matter what the hell it is. Maybe if you know like a trick or two to get back in before then, good for you. But as far as I know, once you quit, and you cannot go back and reapply for like another 3 months. So with that being said, that was a big, huge risk for me, because that was my main income. And the reason that I was like not wanting to just stay at 3, because I was like, you know what, I could do it. Like, let me start getting my clientele up. Like, let me start doing this and getting to where I need to go with this, and building like what I needed to build up, you know what I mean? So I took that leap of faith, which I felt now is obviously kind of dim, but whatever. Sometimes when you have a business like this, you kind of have to take a leap of faith. Like, you literally have to just dive in head first and believe in yourself, invest in yourself. And I feel like that's really what I was doing, because I wanted to get out there more. So I quit my job, and I was getting clients in, like I was booking more people. I was actually feeling more confident in my work. I started doing different designs that I felt like were really good for me at the time, in the sense of like wanting to expand like my portfolio, I guess you could say. like wanting to be a little more advanced in designs and 3D stuff and blah 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 blah. Okay, I basically point blank period was doing a lot better and was being more confident. Well, that didn't last long. I think about 2-3 weeks after I had quit my job is when I got called on. So that's why I say it didn't last long. I'm not sure why somebody did it. I'm not like, it was just really random. I've never had anybody message me about like anything. Like, I'm not gonna lie, my retention was not that great. So yeah, people would message me about that. But I've never heard of anybody getting called on for retention. So I still was a bit confused when it happened. But let's get to the point where it did happen, okay? So I actually had a client in my chair. Again, super confident, super bougie. Like, I even decorated my room so beautifully. I will put it here so you guys could see. Like, look at that. I know y'all see that. Like, I love themes, and I feel like every month has its own theme, especially for like holidays and stuff, and that's really what I was into. So I was really proud of myself. I wanted to make it feel like home, like even though it was in my home, and I understand people feel a little like what the heck, like walking through my front door and going up the hallway, and you know. Well, I had a client that day, like I said, so let's get back to square one. I had a client in my chair, and I had just gotten done with her application, and my dad was home, and I always kept my door shut when I'm doing nails. Always. They know to knock, obviously, because I would have a client. Didn't want to feel like unprofessional, so I would make sure, my family did understand that. It was really funny because my dad, if you guys know my dad personally, you know who he is, or you've met him before, you know that he likes to play the meanest jokes on this earth possible, but he means them in a good way, in a sense that he's just joking. Okay, he's just joking. Well, he starts knocking on the door, and he's like telling me, and he's like, hey, like, are you in there? Do you have a client? Like, I think he had forgotten that I had a client, but he was knocking anyway. And we were kind of like, yeah, like, and the client didn't mind because she was kind of close to the family. She actually, she was just close to the family. I'm not gonna really out her like that. So she didn't really mind. And my dad's like, opens the door, and I'm like, yeah, like, I'm kind of in here, like, I'm busy, whatever. And he opens the door, and he's like, quote enforcement's at the door looking for you. And me and her looked at each other like, and I thought it was a joke, and I was like, why are you lying? Like, that's not cool, like, what the heck? So I was like, what are you talking about? And he was like, they're at the door and they're looking for you. Like, they're looking for you. And I was like, and she's like, is there a back door I can get out? Girl, I literally was like, no, like, I don't have that kind of house, girl, so sorry. So luckily they did not go in my house, but I did have to go to the door. And yeah, I was scared. So I slowly but surely am walking towards the door at this point, because I'm like I was so like, what the heck? I was mind blown because I did not expect that at all. I had never gotten a complaint that crazy to where I was like, oh wait, like, damn it, somebody's gonna call on me. So when it happened, I was a little bit, like I said, I was in shock, because I was just like what the heck, So I go to the front door. I don't remember exactly word for word, but I can like break it down for you, like, on the basis of what was said. But basically they were saying that they knew that I was running a business out of my home without a license. Like, they knew that I was doing nails without a license, and that I tried to lie. I'm not gonna lie. Well, I'm not gonna lie to you guys, but like I tried to lie to them, and I tried to tell them that I was only taking donations. Because if you're doing nails out of your home and you're only taking donations, or people just tip you because they feel like it, you can't get in trouble for that. Well, I tried to say that, and that didn't really work out for me, because whoever called on me gave them full information, including my Instagram page. And on my Instagram page, my prices were listed. So they seen everything already at that point. So there was like no point in lying, honestly. Like there was literally no point of me being like, yeah, I never in my life have touched a hand in my life, like, you know. There was just no point for me to lie. So they're telling me about my page, and girl, it won't focus on my hand. But do y'all see this? It's okay. I just, you know what? I don't even care anymore. Anyway, they're telling me about my page and everything. They're telling me they've seen everything. But prior to that, they did ask me if I had a license. And I said no, because obviously I didn't. So I'm telling them, you know, that I don't, this and that, blah, blah, blah. Like I said, the first, second, and the third. Well, they write me a little warning, luckily, and I thank God every day that they didn't give me a fine and that they didn't take any of my things, because I've heard stories in the past to where they take your things and they charge you like heck of money. So I'm really grateful that that didn't happen to me, because if it did, I would have been super sad, super sad. But they wrote me a warning, and it was really crazy because they were like, oh, like, you're not the only house that we have to go to. We have about 6 more houses to go. So I was like, oh, okay. That's crazy, actually. And I was like really upset. They gave me a warning, and mind you, this is just code enforcement that was in town. It's not anything else, right? At this point, it's just code enforcement in town. They're just giving me my warning, whatever, right? My client that I had in my chair afterwards, she gets up and, you know, they leave. Luckily, again, they did not come inside. So we were able to like keep her in my room. She comes out. I didn't get to finish her design. I think maybe she was a little spooked out, or she was kind of like maybe over it. I don't know what it was, but she did leave. I just did her application, and I think she said she ended up just putting polish on them at home. And I was like, oh, I'm so sorry. Like, I felt so embarrassed. I felt like it was really weird, like hecka crazy too, that I had a client in my chair when it happened. But that, you would think that was it, and it wasn't it. That was not the end of it. That was not the end of it, bro. Why it won't focus on the nails for some reason. Maybe I need to get out of frame, I don't know. But it won't focus. But y'all see that, right? What the heck? But when I go like this, be so for real. You know what? Who cares? Who cares? Just forget it. I don't even care no more. Before I continue, let me figure out how long I want these bad boys, because I get them pretty long all the time. Let's just leave them like this. So this is 5 magnets, so I would consider that a long. I don't know how I feel about that. I think I need a little longer. I think I'll do 6. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I'm stuck. You know what? I'm just gonna go with my regular 7. I don't know why I'm trying to sit here and lie to myself. I just need to go with my regular 7. That's it, that's all. Okay, so like I said, that was not all. That was not it. After the incident happened, I immediately called my sister-in-law, because she as well does nails. And I tell her what happened, and I'm like, oh my god, like I'm freaking out because it was upsetting. Like it was super upsetting. I was really sad, but you know what, I mean, whatever. Anyway, I called my sister-in-law. I'm really upset. You know, I'm sitting there in the house, I'm talking to my dad. I'm just really upset at this point. I didn't even get to cry yet at this point. Like I was just so in shock that somebody would even take the time out of their day to do that. And again, at this point in my head, it's just code enforcement. It's nothing else, girl. Like it's literally nothing else. It's just code enforcement. So I was like, okay, cool, like whatever. Like not cool whatever, but like, you get what I'm saying? It was just something that I had no control over it. I couldn't change it. It's happening, you know what I mean? Whatever. I think about an hour later, I end up getting a couple missed calls from some random number. And I'm kind of like, I don't know this number. I don't know what this is. It turns out that it was the Board of Cosmetology calling me. And I was like, because I also received an email. They got my email. I don't know how they got my email. Because my email was not posted on my Instagram. So yeah, I don't know. But I did get an email. I ended up calling the number back. Like I said, it was the Board of Cosmo. It was Board of Cosmo. It was Board of Cosmo. So I called the Board of Cosmo. They answer. It's like some man. He goes and he's like, oh, like Miss Garcia, like blah blah blah, like talking to me about how I got called on this and this, that, and the third. So I'm sitting there, I'm on the phone with him, I'm understanding. I was so in shock. I was so enraged, honestly. Like I was just so irritated because me personally, I get it. If you're a bad person or whatever, like you're just a grimy little person like that, whatever. I don't want to get too graphic in here, but I don't know. You could come to my house and want to fight me. You could go to my family and want to talk smack about me. You could go and you want to talk smack about my family. Like you could do everything. You could do everything in the book. But me personally, I feel like when you mess with somebody's money, when you have to get to that point, when you mess with somebody's money, somebody's income, that's when you're the lowest of the lowest, because you don't do that to people. Like regardless if I hate somebody so much, like if I hate this person, you know, people go crazy sometimes. So yeah, I would go crazy. But the one thing I would never do is mess with their income, because at the end of the day, I may not care about them and I may hate them, but I still am human and I understand that people go through things and I don't know what their financial situation is like. Maybe they have like 5 kids from 5 different baby daddies and they're a single mom now because none of the baby daddies want them and they need that money. Like, you get what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. I just think that messing with people's income, messing with people's money flow is just like the lowest of the low that you could be. And that somebody did that to me, I was just so upset. Like, I was just so like what is wrong with people? You know what I mean? But anyway, back to the phone call. I ended up asking him and I was like, I want to know who called. I ended up asking like who called on me. Like I told him, I was like, is there any way that you could tell me like who did this to me? Like I want to know what, like I was upset. Like of course I'm gonna ask questions, because who wouldn't? You know what I mean? I wanted to know who did that to me, because why? First of all, why? Like why are you such a hater? Okay. But anyway, I asked, and it was very weird to me because this I distinctly remember. Everything else word for word I don't remember. I know the breakdown of, but this is the one thing that stuck with me. This is the one thing that I do remember. And I remember asking him, you know, who could have done this? Can you give me a hint? Can you blah 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 blah. Immediately he was like, well, you know what, Miss Garcia, not everybody is your biggest fan. Not everybody has your back. Not your friends, especially not your family. Not everybody is good for you. I would just be aware of my surroundings and see who moves around you. Straight like that. He didn't say like nothing, like he could have said anything else, but it was more along the lines of friends and especially family. So I was like, before I continue, I'm gonna be prepping right now. It won't focus on anything else but my face. I'm getting mad. But y'all know what it is, okay? if you know, you know. Anyway, the phone call continued because, you know, whatever he had said, that it stuck with me. That was the one thing that always stuck with me. And I remember him asking me about the email that I received, and I was like, okay, yeah, like I got it. I honestly forgot what was in the email. I guess it was just notifying me that they knew what happened. And at first I was kind of like, oh, okay, like whenever you get called on by code enforcement, obviously they probably have to notify the board, you know what I mean? Like that's kind of where my head was at, which I'm pretty sure that they do. But when I asked the guy that wasn't the case this time, y'all. Somebody literally, and I kid you not, somebody literally took time out of their day to fill out a form and make a complaint against me and report me to the board. Because I don't know if you guys have ever reported anybody before. Me personally, I never have. I don't know if you guys have done that form and filled it out before and everything, but that form alone takes about anywhere between 15 to 20 minutes to fill out. So somebody was so bothered by, I don't even know what, till this day I really don't know what. Somebody was so bothered that they took 15 to 20 minutes out of their life during some day, I don't even know what day that they did it, to report me to the state, you know what I mean, the Board of Cosmo. And when I found that out, I was like, people are really that miserable? Like, that is so great. Like, I don't know. That was just really wild to me. But with that, I ended up I was told that I had to take down my Instagram account. So before I got off my Instagram account, I actually, it was super funny. I posted on my story, just simple as that. I literally put, whoever called on me, your mom's a whore. I didn't know what else to say. I wanted to go on a big rant. I wanted to make a video. I wanted to freaking cuss the world out, but I couldn't, because obviously, you know, I have to keep it professional. I have to keep, you know, my P's and Q's in order, and you know what I mean? I didn't really want to say anything, but that was the most I could say. Like, I literally was like, whoever called on me, your mom's a whore. Like, I don't care. That was crazy as hell. So all of a sudden, everybody started messaging me. Everybody started flowing in, and oh my god, what happened? And you know, everybody's concerned at that point. And it really sucked because I had about 6 appointments lined up for the rest of the week, plus 2 giveaway winners. I was really upset. Along with that, I was told by the guy on the phone that I had to take my Instagram account down. So like I said, before I took it down, I had posted that, whatever. I also, and I had to send them proof. I had to screenshot it and I had to email it back to them. So the email that they sent me, I had to email proof to them that I took down my account. I then also had to take a photo of all of my items, and I had to put them away in a box. And I had to send them a photo that I had closed up shop, like that my room was back to normal, that it was just a regular bedroom. Like, I had to close it up, and that was that. That was it. That was all. Like, I did. It was, honestly, I didn't. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I didn't even have the strength to put my own things away. It affected me in a way where I was depressed, but I didn't really know I was depressed. Like, it hit me in that like wave, if that makes sense. After the whole situation, I didn't go in my room for about maybe 3-4 months because I didn't want to look in there. Like, I really didn't want to see. I believe one day after, because at the time I was not living with my boyfriend. I'm still not. I don't know why I said that. I was spending the night at my boyfriend's a lot. I came home and my stuff was all packed up, like all my nail stuff. I did not have the strength to do it. Shout out to my mom, because my mom did it for me. My mom put everything in a box for me. And I remember coming home and looking at my empty room. Oh my god. I remember coming home and looking at that empty room, and I felt like I had failed. Like, I felt I felt like I betrayed myself, like I betrayed my business. Like I felt stupid because I should have like went and gotten my education. I I felt like I failed my business. And I'm not gonna lie, I let the depressive state really take over, because that happened in like, I wanna say October of 2024. I really didn't start looking into going back to school till about January. And even then, I unfortunately could not have afforded it. So yeah, I put me in such a, like, it hurt me so bad. But at the end of the day too, like, if I really cared about my business that way, then I would have done it the right way to begin with. Like, then, like, you know, like, that was like my mind, that's my mindset now. Like, now that I look at it, like, if I really cared about my business the way that I do, I would have from the beginning, like, especially if I was getting clients like that, I would have saved my money to go to school. Like, simple as that, you know? But after the whole situation, I ended up going to school in July of 2025. I graduated November 2025, and I got my license January 2026. So I was super excited. I actually was gonna start doing it out of my room when I got back, like back into it, you know? And that did not work out, because for the simple fact that in order to do it out of your home, it's like a whole different ball game. Like, you literally have to do a whole application to even see if you could take clients in your home. And I guess that application is almost like $2,000. And that's like, again, it's, you have to get approved or denied. And I guess even if we get approved, we don't get, or even if we get denied, sorry, even if we get denied, we don't get that money back. So you basically just give the city like $2,000 for, I guess, for them to go plan a trip or something. Like, I really don't know. So, and then after you do that application, say they approve it, that still doesn't mean anything, because then you have to, I don't know, I forgot what they said. Oh, you have to then announce it within, to all the people within a 300 radius of your home. And you have to hold like, or you have to go down to like city council, I guess. And if anybody goes and complains about like a commercial business in their neighborhood, you can't do it anymore. Like, that's it, that's all, like, pack it up, honey. And at least that's what I was told. So if y'all were told different, let me know. But it is a lot of money and a lot of time and a lot of different paperwork that you need, which I thought was really crazy, because like, what do you mean? Y'all, look at that, that's so bad. I was gonna do it out of my home, but it was a lot of requirements, like, and also too, like, to have it out of your home, you have to have like, at least, you know, they have to have a parking spot, and like, not all crazy like parking spot, but like they have to have somewhere where they could park their car. And we have a lot of cars at my house. Like, you gotta park across the street, honey. Then you have to have like a separate bathroom for your clients. You have to have running water in your room. You have to have a you know, a hand washing machine and this and that. So that was, you know, like, it was a whole freaking thing. A lot of different stuff that you need. And I did not have the time nor the money to sit there and, you know what I mean, do it all over again like that. Because realistically, if I would have done it like that, I probably wouldn't have started nails again for like a whole nother year. Like, let's be so for real right now. And I know y'all doing out your house. I know y'all don't got all that. You lying. I know you lying. But that's not the point. But you know what I mean? Like, it was just crazy a lot. I stopped recording for a quick second because I was trying to do this and talk at the same time. My brain was glitching. And then also too, my phone was dying, so sorry. So yeah, that was my experience. I finished my hand, by the way. That was my experience, and honestly, I never wish that upon anybody. Like, unless you're out here giving people infections and being super unsanitary like you're not supposed to be, you know what I mean, then okay, you kind of deserve it. But If you're not, I don't wish that experience upon anybody. I will not sit here and tell y'all to not work outside your house, because I know that in the beginning that's kind of the way to do it. You know, you want to start with your aunties, your grandma, your cousin's baby mama, like I don't know, like you want to start with who you want to start with. Then word of mouth, you know, they start telling people, oh yeah, I got my nails done by so and so, and blah 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 blah. My only advice, like I said, I'm not gonna sit here and tell you not to do it at your house, because I did it. The only thing I would say is, like, for example, if you're booked and busy, like if you have a good steady clientele, you're making your money, you know what I mean, you're booked and you're busy, do yourself a favor and, like, for example, the tips that they give you, or even like $20 out of the full set that you're charging them, put it to the side for your education, so that way you have something saved already for when you go to school. And that way, by the time you go to school, you can pay for what you need to pay for. Because honestly, when I went to school, I had to buy a nail case, I had to buy my polishes, I had to buy so much things that I thought the school would provide for us, and they really didn't. We had to bring a lot of our own stuff. So it's not just like the tuition you have to pay, it's like basically everything else added on. So like I said, my advice would be to like save on the side, especially if you're popping, especially if you're booked and you're busy. Put some money to the side, babes. Like, love your business, love, you know, have love for your business the way you have love for yourself. Like, you have to. And I wish that I would have done that. I wish that I would have taken care of my business from the beginning, because, and I only say that because when I stopped doing nails, I want to say October of 2024. I didn't start doing people's nails again till February of 2026. And when I tell you, I lost a lot of people, in the sense of like, I had a steady clientele building up already, and because I had to stop, I lost all of that clientele. And obviously they're not going to wait around. Like, life goes on, they need to get their nails did, they need to look good, which I never judged anybody for. Like, I completely understood it. And when I came back, a lot of people did not come back to me. Some people did, but a lot of people did not come back, because coming back I realized there's a lot of nail techs here in town. Like, there's way more nail techs than I remembered, and they found their nail tech. My old clients went and found their new nail tech. Obviously, like I said, not only did I lose my clientele, but also I felt like I lost my touch a little bit. Like, I was getting, like I said, I was getting better of my shaping, application, everything was getting better. It was like right there. And obviously, because, you know, I took a year and something off and I didn't do nails, I felt like I was basically having to start up again, all over again, from here to up here. You know what I mean? So that was the only thing that sucked. So that's my advice to you guys. Save your money and go to school, get your education, get your license. Because I'm not saying I never did want to do it, but I was put in a position where I was forced to do it because of what happened. Like, because somebody just was that, you know, petty, was that miserable with themselves that they did that. You know what I mean? So don't let that happen to you. You know what I mean? Wishing nothing but the best for all of you guys' businesses. And you know what I mean? Take care of your business before somebody else tries to take care of it for you. Because it was crazy. So this was super fun for me. I never got to tell this story before. I've told it obviously to my immediate family, my friends, whatever, but I haven't yet to tell like anybody, like my followers and stuff, really what happened. So I hope that this video was informative, I guess you could say, and I hoped it kind of flipped a switch for you guys a little bit in your head if you are doing that out of your home. And I hope that all of your guys' businesses thrive. I hope that you guys go get your license and love your business. Love it down, baby, because somebody else out there will want to love your clients down, okay? Because that's what somebody did to me. But I will be putting a video at the end of my finished nails, because it does take me a while to do my own nails. I always start off with my dominant hand, because obviously I'm not a left-handed girly, and this one takes me like long. So yeah, I will put the video at the end once I'm done. But thank you for watching. Make sure you like, subscribe, comment, share, go to my socials, follow me on Instagram, follow me on TikTok, you know, book an appointment. I will be gone July 1st through July 7th, but I will be posting availability soon, so book your appointments because I said so. Come book an appointment. But thank you guys again. Love y'all. Bye.
Hey.